Kevin Lee, and I'm going to be your tutor via entertainer about Egypt for today. Well, let's get it started then. First, I'm going to teach you guys about the geographical features that Egypt has. Many of the people, when the word Egypt is mentioned, what are the words that comes to your mind? Think. They are, for me, Sphinx, pyramids, and pharaohs. And yes, if you thought of those kind of three things when I mentioned about Egypt, you're pretty good. Um, Now let's start off with its geographical features. And well, first let's say where is it? Where? Well, it's located in North Africa, of course. And Egypt borders the Mediterranean Sea to the north, the Gaza Strip and Israel to the northeast, the Red Sea to the east, Sudan to the south, and Libya to the west. Um, Egypt holds a gigantic desert, a Sahara Desert, and also Egypt's uniqueness, their pyramids and sphinx within their deserts. However, unfortunately, most of the Egypt is covered in desert. That sucks. There are Arabian deserts, Libyan deserts, and Nubian deserts surrounding Egypt. Three deserts. Poor Egypt. However, the Egyptians hold a very, very large river, one of the biggest, in fact, the Nile River, and Nine Delta. Nine Delta. What is it? Delta is in the fourth alphabet of Greek? No. Delta, you guys should know this by now, but it is from dictionary.com. It says delta is a nearly flat plain of alluvial deposit between diverging branches of the mouth of a river, often though not necessarily triangular. Now you guys know. Um, and that nine delta formed into Egypt, where the Nile River spreads out and drains into the Mediterranean Sea, and it is one of the largest river deltas in the world. The Nile River and the Nile Delta are the only large enough river and natural water flow or water supply to Egypt. And because of that, Egypt's 99% of its agriculture depends on the two river systems. Now let's talk about the tour guides and what's cool to do in Egypt. Well, as you guys know, Egypt holds a very, 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 very long history of around 5,000 years. Pretty long. And therefore, it is packed with deep architects that are very interesting for tourists. But also, Egypt is very famous for swimming. But why? What? It is very ironic how swimming is famous in Egypt because the majority of the Egypt is covered by desert. But I also mentioned that Egypt shores the Mediterranean Sea and the Red Sea. Therefore, swimming activities are really famous there as well. Okay, now let's go on with one of the biggest city or the biggest city in the Africa continent itself, Cairo, the capital of Egypt. Well, it is also called as a bridge between Christianity and Islam because north of Egypt there's a Europe, and northeast or east part of Egypt there's an Islamic world, and both of them have influenced quite heavily on Egypt during the ancient history times. Therefore, Egypt is pretty much stuck between the two different religions, so they could be considered a bridge. Okay, when talking about Egypt, we cannot forget the pyramids. Pyramids are just phenomenal. And and there's the biggest and there are countless tourists to visit the pyramids resisting the stinging heat waves and the annoying scents that goes into our shoes. Pyramid of Cheops, the biggest pyramid in Egypt, was built by Cheops or Khufu. It is currently known as the Pyramid of Giza. Why? Because Giza is the place where the pyramid is. Since Giza is the pyramid is mainly for sightseeing, and since it's one of the seven wonders of the world, tourists die to put themselves into the frame with the pyramid in the background. Also, the another city is Alexandria. Alexandria is a city not to be missed, and it's a royal city, as they call it, with considerable amount of history and conquering and revolution back and forth. It is also the second largest city in Egypt, holding 80% of the seaport imports and exports, and known for the Lighthouse of Alexandria, one of the seven wonders of ancient world, the Library of Alexandria, the largest library in the ancient world, and the catacombs of Qom el Shafqafa, one of the seven wonders of the Middle Ages. Since the city is near the seas, the Red Sea and the Mediterranean, it is a resort city as well, where numerous tourists visit to see the ancient architect and swim. Now on to the information about Egypt's culture. As history ties into the culture, we could say Egypt has probably about 5,000 years long of history or culture. Um, Egypt itself came under the influence of Hellenism for a time Christianity, and later Arabs and Islamic culture. Still, ancient Egyptian cultures could be found as well, but slightly modified by the Western influences. Talking about culture, it is a big part of a society. In ancient Egyptian time, Egyptians had polytheistic beliefs, where Egyptians saw the world as a conflict between order and chaos. Pharaoh, representing the earthly beings, and even seeing being a god, seen as a god by the Egyptians, was, and also the Egyptians also held the belief of resurrection in next life cycle. And later, Christianity came in, and also Islamic came in through the influences of trade and other invasions, conquering, and etc. Therefore, in terms of religions, Egypt holds about Christianity and Islam. Now, talking about art cultures in Egypt. In talking about art, Egyptians were the first major civilization to actually develop art by means of entertainment and for visual. Examples are such as the paintings of Pharaoh in the ancient pyramids. It is said that the ancient Egyptians did not draw based on what they saw, but what they know or what they believed. Modern art that is left are ancient Islamic buildings that were left in Egypt, and not to forget the Great Pyramid and the ancient mummies and the wall paintings within the pyramid. And that is a big evidence simply because of its size and its magnificence and its public fame. Now talking about food in Egypt. Okay, according to my research, it says that Egyptians are vegetarians. I don't like it. I don't like vegetables. However, it is said that now, because of their Nile River and their rich water supply, they have really high quality vegetables, despite the fact that only about like 1%, only about like few percent of the agriculture comes out of Egypt. However, from that high quality of vegetables and legumes, they can make very good salads and very healthy foods for you. It is said, it ties back to the history back again, saying that peasants, when they were building the pyramids, they were fed with onions, breads, beers, and etc., so that they could keep themselves in shape and healthy enough to keep so that the landlords could use them to keep them busy building the pyramid. So we could say that vegetables in ancient Egypt was like vitamins for us. I wish I could say more about this topic because I have much more information than this. However, because of the time restraints, I just chose the things that I wanted to talk about the most into this video. So if you guys want to know more, although I know you don't want to go through my wiki space and read off, just please just take a look. It's in my wiki space. Thank you for watching. Bye.